My man! Welcome to the show. How are you? Really excited as a parent and as a person of color to have our guest today. Hey, what's up, everybody? Hey guys, what's up? It's Irfan. I'm really excited to bring on our next guest. Her name is Iraida Charova. She's based out of New York. She is the account coordinator for Reshaping, which is a global cosmetics brand, and she is also a certified hypnotherapist. Very exciting personality, very intriguing background as well. I'm excited to have her. Iraida, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So listen, our team spent some time researching you and they found you to be absolutely fascinating. And that's part of the reason that I wanted to have you on the show. And kind of, if you can start by explaining your journey, how you immigrated. You're a first generation immigrant, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's correct.
So walk me through, you're in, the former USSR. What were you doing out there? What led you to immigrate? And kind of, let's start there because there's a lot we have to unpack.
I'm Russian from Moscow, and I am a last generation that grew up in a communist and marched and wore uniforms. And then by the time I finished high school, was thrown into capitalism, like into the space. Mm-hmm. So there was quite a contrast, and people of my generation are very fast learners for that particular reason. So that's what the circumstances were. And of course, in my time, we adore America. We adore America. We loved America. Everything American was fascinating. I saw two movies. I saw a Wall Street with Michael Douglas, and I saw Working Girl with Melanie Griffiths, and both movies were shot in Manhattan. And I got absolutely mesmerized with the building, with the stone jungle of Manhattan. And this way, I guess I got New York virus. And I couldn't live without it. And it took me about a year to get a visa. I was declined 4 times. Okay. But I guess if you want something bad enough, then universe supports you and help you. Yeah. And it did happen for me, finally, unexpectedly. So I came to United States 30 years ago. Okay. So prior to that, when Soviet Union collapsed and everybody was facing this total uncertainty, it was like Wild West in Russia. It was no laws, it was no private laws established, private property laws, nothing like that. But my mother is a journalist and she has a strategic thinking. So she thought very fast, size up the situation, and took chances opening a private business. So we were first 10 women in Moscow opening a private corporation. Wow. And in 2 years, we grew into 9 franchises, and it was an exciting journey. And sometimes I couldn't believe my eyes, but that's what you get for risk taking at the right time. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So you're doing well, you're successful, you were very young at the time. What prompted you to, you saw the movies and things like that, but what was the outside of that? What was the catalyst to say, you know what? I think I'm going to just, stop here and move to this brand new environment that is New York.
Yeah, the situation there was quite dangerous. It was quite dangerous for a young woman like me also, because a lot of racketeering was involved. And to keep a private business, it's involved a lot of, risky stuff. So everybody who could leave at that time, they were leaving. There was a trend. I did follow the trend because it seems like there was no future for me as my private life. It was just really, really bizarre situation when I said, this is not how I envision my life. And I felt that I already established certain skills by that time, communication skills. However, I didn't speak any English. That was like my downfall. I didn't speak any English. I had 5 interpreters working in my office, but I didn't speak any of foreign languages. But I just followed the trend. Anybody who had a chance to leave, they left at that time. They immigrated because of the situation in the country. It was quite dangerous.
Got it. Okay. And so when you moved here, did you have a lot of money already saved up, or how did that go?
Oh, I came here with $200 in my pocket because all I could take out of Russia by the law at the time was $200.
Literally $200.
Literally $200 in cash. They would not allow you to take anything out of the country if you didn't have any jewelry or any kind of like assets that you could bring physically. You were not allowed to take currency through the border.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And you had a son at the time, is that right?
No. I was 24. I turned 25 in New York.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, it was April 14. I remember because that's a tax day. So I always remember the day I arrived in the Kennedy airport.
Wow.
I'll write a book about it. It's my dream.
You should. It sounds absolutely fascinating. So you're in New York. What do you do? Like, I know that you're a quick learner. You're very resourceful. And here you are.
Well, I had a foreign clients in our agency that I was running. And this foreign clients, one of them helped me to the first time. So they just introduced me to other people where I could stay. And I stayed with Russian immigrants who potentially was trying to create a franchise of my business here in the United States, which did not fly, of course, because I didn't have enough skills. I didn't speak English, all of these steps that you cannot skip, really. So I had to go back to drawing board to learn English, to take basic jobs like everybody else. I worked in a flea market. I worked as an aerobic teacher in a gym. Yeah, I did all these things. I have a lot of skills thanks to that.
Okay. All right. That is really interesting. So fast forward, how long did it take you to get settled? How long was it until you felt like you were in a comfortable or stable place?
Well, what do you mean to get settled? Like enough to like have my own apartment, or like what do you mean by that, to get settled?
Where you felt a sense of stability, where you weren't relying on others necessarily as much.
Well, I got married.
Okay.
I was married to a lawyer.
Okay.
That marriage did not work out. It brought me anything but stability. And when I left him, after 2 years, 3 years of marriage, I left him. I walked into Bloomingdale's and I got a job on the spot, Bloomingdale's 59th Street. That's when I start making a stable paycheck. And that's when I fell in love with the business, with the beauty. I also modeled on the side at that time. And when I start making my own money here and there, having my own room, first I rented a room on Upper East Side. I always wanted to live in Manhattan. I wouldn't settle for anything else. And that's when I start feeling, when I got job, the most important thing is the job in America. You have a job, you're okay.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. And so what year is this roughly?
Oh, we're talking like 95.
Okay. Okay. Very cool. And then talk to me about how you progressed throughout your career. I know that you've got a fairly big role right now. But what are some of the traits or techniques that, or skills, I guess, that you utilize to progress in your career? You know, there might be somebody listening who is blown away by you. Like, gosh, how was she able to do that? There might be a young woman listening who might be completely overwhelmed right now, right? What could you tell that person?
Yes, my big thing was communication skills. I already knew how to talk to people. Even I talk to them on a broken language sometimes,
Mhm.
but the confidence, and this is what I teach the most. When you have confidence in yourself, when you have confidence, when you believe, that's when things start happening for you. So, of course, my looks gave me confidence. What I did before, my success in the past gave me certain confidence. That's what helped me through in all these situations. I always had that confidence that I can do it. If you did it one time, you need to succeed just one time. One time you succeed, you can build on it.
That's really promising, because I think what happens with a lot of folks is that we do well, or we, knock it out of the park, and we might just say, oh gosh, that was just luck. And life is not consistent necessarily. All of us have ups and downs, and it's making those downturns as short as possible. And I think what's required to do that is having that confidence, like, hey, you know what? That was a small blip in the radar. I can get back up. I can clean myself up. A lot of tech companies, for example, have laid off people over the past 12 months. Microsoft, Facebook, all these, Salesforce, all of these large companies. And a lot of the people that work there derived confidence from their role, that they're working for a prestigious company and so forth. And many of them, since they were laid off, they've sort of lost a lot of their identity and subsequently their confidence. And so I think it's very poignant what you said, is it's just a matter of focusing on your skills and what you're good at, and just knowing that uh, it's a temporary thing, right? Um, how do you ensure that your confidence is high, or is it just a natural thing with you?
Well, if I go to my lowest point, for example, the lowest point, I always imagine myself being a James Bond. James Bond being trapped in an impossible situation. And I always say, there's gotta be something I can do. It has to be something that I can do in this situation. And practicing this throughout a life, I realized there's always three ways any situation can go. It's always three exits out of this situation. You sit there, you talk to yourself, and you say, what are my skills? What am I good at this? I did not succeed here, but I can do this. For example, the situation with my child. My husband walked away when I was 8 months pregnant. Okay, so when child is born, you have to regroup everything around this, right? And before that, I was model and actress. I was living really fun life. Everything sounded all fun and games. But then there was a child on the way. I sit down and I said to myself, okay, what do you really can do for 8 hours and you're not getting tired of it, you're not getting irritated? What can you do? What do you love to do? I love beauty. I love to do facials. And I went completely into this and I enjoy this. I found creativity in this process. And I remember talking to somebody, kind of like a spiritual mentor at the time. And I told him, I said, look, this is really hard. I have a newborn at home. I go to this job. I really struggle there. I want to go to sleep and all of that. He said to me, you in it for 8 hours, find a creative process in it, find a joy, find something that you can grab that makes you happy in this 8 hours. And what made me happy is that a result of my work. I always exceeded a client expectation, and I saw the change in them, and I feed off that, and I grab that moment. So every time when there's a rough situation like this, I sit down and I have this conversation with myself. I said, okay, there's 3 ways it can go. And I plan, what am I going to do next? Because life is a journey. All we can count on is a change. Nothing is ever permanent.
Wow. Wow. Very cool. Very deep. I love it. Talk to me about where you are now. What do you do? What is your focus?
Well, right now I am focusing in cosmetics.
Okay.
I represent this wonderful brand that I love. And I've always worked for high-end brands because I believe in it. You know, even my Instagram is called Luxury Skincare Snob because I decided to own it, you know. Um, I believe in the luxury skincare. I believe you're getting what you pay for. And this is what I do for this brand. I supervise 22 stores in Manhattan and make sure business is running, it looks good, things are sold, marketing is going, and et cetera, et cetera. It's a really cool job with a lot of different spectrums. It's not like sitting in the office and doing one thing. I'm always meeting new people. I'm meeting new clients. I thrive on sales and making numbers. I find a fun in that. So, and I train a lot. Now I go a lot into training. I train the staff in Blue Mercury's, in Saxon Bergdorf. I trained about new products. All of this is exciting to me. I'm really, really happy with my job. I have a cool job.
Talk to me a little bit about how you've used digital marketing, social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, to grow your personal brand.
Well, especially when I was in pandemic and studying hypnotherapy, I was on my own and I start marketing my own business. I must say it's not easy. You have to learn a lot of skills. You have to become a director. You have to be able to make these mini movies. You have to become a public speaker. You have to be an actor. You have to look good, make your makeup, and be appealing to people. It's a lot of skills.
Yeah.
It's a lot of skills, and also operate all this electronics. So this is not, you know, an easy task, the marketing. It
Right.
didn't come easy to me. So I've built 2 Instagram accounts. And then I lost them because they were snatched from me. That was the biggest disappointment.
How?
They were hacked and I never got them back. So, you know, that was the major setback for me. But I think digital marketing is unavoidable. This is what we do. All the brands jump on it, including my brand. We did the most of digital marketing last year, and it definitely brings revenue. It brings a big revenue because our life is changing. We have to understand, and now we have to learn how to use AI and all of that. I only see benefit in this, to be honest with you, because now at the fingertips, you can accomplish something. You don't even have to leave your house. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool for sure. Where do you see yourself in the next 12 to 24 months with your beauty with your main line of work and then also your hypnotherapy?
Well, I created this program that combines hypnotherapy and facials. I'm
Okay.
going to continue market that and develop that. I'm also planning to make some courses, online courses, which is kind of teaching elevated experience
What
for
is that?
estheticians. It's like kind of explaining what's the difference between regular facial and luxury facial. What makes luxury facial? What brings the client to that luxury experience? Because this year I grew to the point when I did Met Gala facials. I had a couple of celebrities that I did a facial for who become a client of Revive. So there was a really learning experience for me. So I understood some things and I want to share them, because I get to ask this question a lot from the girls, like, how do I move from regular mom and pop shop facial to a luxury facial when you could do Met Gala people? Yeah, I would like to share that with everybody who wants to. So I'm going to make some courses. And I also want to write a book.
About what?
Well, first I wanted to write a fiction. Now I can write 3 books. I can write 3 books. Maybe it will be 3 books. One is fiction, one is biography, and one is about the business.
Got it. Very cool. Is there a book that you've read recently that has had an impact on your life that you would recommend to others?
You know, I always love classics. I like to go back and read a major classic like Bulgakov. I like to read in Russian because it's really makes my brain to relax and rewind. Because when rewind.
What was the name of that book? Bulgakov?
Yes, I like Bulgakov.
Okay.
You know, the one who wrote Master and Margarita.
Okay. Got it. What keeps you up at night?
AI. I'm afraid of AI.
Okay.
I am really thinking about how AI is going to come in and take all the retail jobs, which is already happening, because I would say probably 65% of business is done online.
Right.
And I am really worried about retail and the further destiny of retail, and trying to kind of figure out the ways how to establish the services that are really still attractive to people to come in and see other people. That's what keeps me up at night.
Interesting. What?
I also think in the future it's going to be a huge need for therapists, because if we're going to have so much AI going on and people going to have a lot of free times, you know, we're not all going to sit and write a poetry. You know, it's going to be in issues. And I love hypnotherapy for that.
Okay.
So I'm trying to see my ways. Where am I going to fit in all of these changes? Because world changing so quickly.
Right. Very heavy stuff. Well, listen, I think this could be a multi-part interview. I think there's a lot to learn from you. I think anyone who goes through adversity and comes out on top, and not only that, but maintains such a positive energy like you have, there's something that I think we can all learn from them. You're clearly somebody who's very strong and a very positive person. So we will, so if somebody wants to get a hold of you for hypnotherapy or other things, what's the best way to reach you?
Sure. I have a website which called IMP Evolution, Image, Mind, Performance, Evolutions.
Okay.
So they can find me in there, or they can find me in Instagram by my name, Iraida_Charova.
Okay, brilliant. Well, listen, Iraida, it's always a pleasure to chat with you. I think I'm certainly going to look into hypnotherapy and other things, because you never know. I mean, I think people should always have an open mind and be willing to try something new, and they might be surprised, right?
Let me know if you want a session.
Right on, will do. All right, thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.